Thank you, Senator. Representative Kelly. And all of you, thank you very much for inviting me down here today. It's a very, very special day. And I got to confess at the outset, though, when it comes to information technology, I'm really an old timer. A dinosaur, my son would say. You know, back in my day, you know, high-speed communication was a pencil, piece of paper, an envelope, and a 3-cent stamp. Technological innovation was the availability of the ballpoint pen. And then in the summer of 1967, I worked for one summer at Dayton's department store. That was the summer where I learned that I was not meant to be a retailer. And that was also the summer where my father and uncles realized I was not meant to be a retailer. But they had this, it's hard to describe, but they had a computer about as high as the ceiling here, and probably from that set of shelves there to this one over here. And it had to be at 62 degrees, and it had these card punches for the processing. And you know, that thing didn't have near, you know, a fraction of the speed and capabilities of an iPhone or anything else we carry around these days. So it's astonishing to me how this has developed as rapidly and extensively as it has. And you know, so when the computers came to everyday offices and people's homes, at first I resisted. My motto was I want everybody in the organization to have a computer so I won't have to. But then I noticed the advantages that it provided to others, and finally in August of 2002, I came home for the August Senate recess, and I decided to take 2 giant leaps into the unknown. I bought a computer, and the next day I brought home 2 German Shepherd puppies. And the next day, honest to God, the next day one of the puppies ate my power cord. So I say all this as a mention to let you know that most of this stuff, especially when you get into gigabits and beyond, is really beyond me. But what I do understand and appreciate enormously is transformative public benefit, innovation, new jobs. So I'm here today to thank all of you, and especially Red Wing Ignite and all of you who've been involved in making this day a reality. I'm here to thank you for your vision, your courage to take these steps forward, and for all of their hard work, which I know has been involved for the Red Wing and thus by association all of Minnesota on the cutting edge of this transformative technology. 2009 and 2010, you know, I drove all over the state of Minnesota, and there's an unending source of aggravation. At one point you get cell phone and internet coverage, the next 2 miles later, nothing. Calls were interrupted, you know, websites were interrupted. Fillmore and Houston counties, I mean, it was like rolling the dice to see whether you'd get something or not. Up in, I heard from business owners up on the North Shore, north of Lutzen, that some of them had access to internet, others did not. And the ones who did had a competitive advantage over those who did not. And so I developed this saying, you know, border-to-border coverage, internet and cell phone coverage across Minnesota. And a woman in Park Rapids said to me that she worked for a fledgling advertising public relations firm located in Bemidji, and how wonderful it was that she was able to work from her home in Park Rapids, be with her children when they got home from school and the like. But she said, you know, all that depends on having high-speed, high-quality, reliable internet service and connections, and that's our future. You know, more and more people here and across the country are going to be able to live and work, you know, where they want to, and more people are going to choose to live in towns and townships in greater Minnesota if they can communicate rapidly and reliably with the rest of the world. Now, in my first months recognizing this, I created the broadband task force, and I want to thank the members who are here today for their extraordinary dedicated service, no remuneration, on time out of their busy schedules, because they believe in this and they recognize its importance to our entire state. I've always said that when you run for office, you deal with rhetoric. When you serve in office, you deal with reality. And so my rhetoric of border-to-border internet and cell phone coverage has run head on to the difficulties and the challenges and the complexities that entails. But that's all the more reason why I'm so grateful to the members of the task force for their willingness to just persevere and make progress. And you know, somebody said once, the difficult takes a while, the impossible just takes a little longer. So we're somewhere between the impossible and the difficult, I think, on this undertaking. But if we persist with it, we'll have that kind of universal coverage. And those that develop that capability are going to have a huge competitive advantage, location decisions, expansions, quality of life, and everything else over those who don't. So this is a critical endeavor that you're involved in here. And again, I just want to thank all of you, Red Wing Ignite, for your pioneering leadership and for your vision, for the business leaders, the civic leaders, gigabit geniuses, I knew it was going to tell gigabit geniuses, and everyone else here in Red Wing who's truly united to make this day happen. And I wish you all success in the future, and someday I'll know how to pronounce people.